Today I'm going to talk about how my interactions have went with some big name drivers. For those who don't know, I've been working in motorsport for about 2-3 years now. I'm a motorsport presenter. I do a little bit of photography on the side and a bit of media management. But yeah, so we have Arvid Limla, now a Formula One driver. He was here last year when I interviewed him. So the notes I have for him is he was super nice. I interviewed him a few times in press conference, and by the way, oh my god, this is not straight. I interviewed him a few times during press conference. Like, the first interaction we had is I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, can I have a photo?" So then we took a photo, and then right after we were in the same press conference, and I was asking him questions. There was only like two older guys there and me, and we were just asking him questions. And some of the other drivers and the press conference. Oh my god, this was my first live event that I was working at. It was the biggest one of the whole year. It's the biggest one that happens annually, and it was I was so scared. I was like shaking in my seat, and like the seat, it was like a sliding seat like this, and I was shaking, and sometimes like my legs were shaking really bad, and sometimes the seat would be making noises, and sometimes I'd look at the drivers and they just like Anyway, and then I also had like one of the ambassadors come up to me. He's like, "Hey, calm down." Sorry. What else was there? He's always smiling and very happy to see his fans. He's always smiling. He's really happy to see his fans. Yeah, I think Arvid is someone who was like, he knew that, yeah, he's a pretty big name. He's probably one of the more famous drivers coming into CT Frot during that time. And I think that, yeah, he knew that he was going to have a lot of fans, and he was really nice to him as well. I know that he had some younger kids coming up to him asking for photos, and it was like really cute and really sweet to watch. Uguku. Oh my god, I feel so bad for this guy. The presenters and the commentators would always say his name wrong. I don't know if they ended up getting his name right at all in the whole season, which is like a month of racing. I don't know, I felt so bad for him. They kept getting his name wrong. Anyway, I met him at FP when I went up to him. I shook his hand. I was like, "Hey." Oh, my friend introduced us. Anyway, I gave him my account, and he follows me. No, he gave me my account, and I was walking with my friend Gracie. Shout out to her. If you guys know her, you know her. And we were walking away, and as we turned the corner, I was like, "Oh my god, I need to check if this guy followed me," because I wasn't gonna click the follow button for him, because I was like, that's a bit desperate. But anyway, I went around the corner, we checked it, and he followed me. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so much aura." I took a screenshot of it, and I posted onto my close friends, which had like 3 drivers that I'm really close with. And then 2 minutes later, I checked his following, and he had unfollowed me. So he's I don't know, I don't talk to him a lot. I think with his teammates, he talked a bit, but he's very tall. He's very tall. Ladies, if you want like a guy who's like 6'4", like me, I think I'm 5'5". I'm 167 centimeters. Anyway, if you want a guy who's like really, really tall, I don't know. It got like a bit intimidating to be looking up at him. It was very overwhelming the whole time. I was like, "Hey, so how was practice?" "Oh yeah, great." Right? So yeah. Oh, also Ugo did like all of the posts that I tagged him in and stuff, so he was very, very supportive in that way, which I'm glad. Liam Lawson, he was very funny. He's a very down-to-earth person. I think in New Zealand he's like another local, like he's not really like a celebrity. He was very humble. I know last year and this year, last year he would have people come up to him and shake their hands and everything. Last year it wasn't announced that he was going to be here. I think it was pretty obvious that he was, but it wasn't announced. And I had one of the ambassadors, who's the same ambassador, who's a really good friend of mine. He took me to go meet Liam. I shook his hand and everything. I was like, "Hey, like, so nice to meet you." And I told him that my dad, he doesn't follow Formula One, but he follows Liam Lawson's career. And I told him, I was like, "Hey, my dad follows Formula One, basically just for you." And he was like, "Oh my god, like that's so sweet, like tell him I said thank you and everything." He was so nice, and I asked for a photo with him and his girlfriend, and he was surprised because I don't think anyone else asked for that. And I told him, I was like, "Yeah, when you guys were like driving in, like I saw Hannah, your girlfriend, I was like, wow, like she has such like a F1 it girl vibe. And I looked next to her and I saw you. I was like, oh my god, she is an F1 wag. She does have that vibe. And it was pretty funny because everyone was laughing and they were like, oh, Hannah's more famous than you now. Yavon David. Oh my god, Yavon is one of my favorite people in the entire world. Yavon is such a nice person. He does love being on camera, but I just think besides that as well, he's just so extremely nice. Media people and media personalities, I feel like, do get a lot of, like, they all get put onto one side. Everyone thinks journalists, reporters, presenters, all of them, they just want drama, that they'll put a bad headline out for you, that they'll talk to you at the wrong time. I know personally for me, that's the last thing I want to be doing. I know I told all the drivers, I was like, if I'm coming up to you asking to do an interview and you're not in the mood, it was a bad race, you're busy, just let me know and I can go and I can come back like an hour. Like, don't even worry about it, because I know that a lot of drivers are here to be driving and not to be doing media, which I completely understand. So it's like, if you there was a driver in the City Fraught series that apparently told one of his fans to fuck off, so he got told off for that. So I told him, I was like, please don't say that to me, because I probably won't approach it again after that, because I'll feel really scared. But oh my god, like, if any of drivers are watching this and I'm coming up to you and I'm trying to interview you and it's like not the time, just be like, not right now. Period. Understood. After FP1, that was the first time I met him. And I think I just approached him, I did an interview. And then it was either that day or then I think it was the next day. I was like, everyone had left already from the track and I was staying late with some of the girls there and we were sitting on the podium. And then Yavon comes over and he's like, hey, do you guys like need any media work done? I'm like, oh my god, over here is like the Sri Lankan of the year, a super cool driver who's super famous, and he went out of his way to come to us after a huge day of racing and be like, hey, do you guys need anything else? I was like, this guy, he's so sweet and he's so nice. I know to his fans as well, he was so nice. He loved talking with his fans. In Topor, I saw like a lot of his fans and I couldn't get to Yavon because there are so many of them. So I'd be like, hey, like, come with me. I'll go get Yavon for you. But he's so sweet. He's so nice. I know for Topor as well, I got him and his teammate like a bag of like New Zealand sweets and everything and some little like New Zealand accessories. And I think it was either him or his teammate that messaged me after and they thanked me for it. And they're so nice. And he even offered to pay. I was like, we told you, like, I told you that this was a media expense and this was for like media and like this is on us. And he was like, oh yeah, I can pay if you want. And I was like, no, you're probably a millionaire. I'll go broke from it, a $5 ice cream, but it's fine, don't even worry. I'm still broke from that. But yeah, he's so nice. He's honestly one of my favorite drivers I've ever worked with. I told him, I was like, a driver told a fan to fuck off, so like, if you're not in the mood, please don't say that to me, just tell me not to and I'll leave you alone. And he was like, oh, what? Who? And I also told him, I was like, I know like you're a pretty famous driver, and I had another famous driver, Uguku, follow me, but then he unfollowed me. So if you follow me, please don't unfollow me. And he was like, yeah, I won't, I promise. And he's kept his promise so far, so he's so nice. Riots, I hope I'm saying that right. I didn't meet him, but we have like messaged, and I think this was like earlier on in my career. He was really nice and he was really supportive of my work. We were trying to get to one of the races and like he had like organized tickets and stuff, but then he didn't end up racing in the last race, so we didn't end up doing it. But he saw off it, he was very nice, and he said that because he was like working on it and said that he would do it, that if we're in, I think it was Italy at the time, that if we're in Italy he can get me and some people some paddock passes and stuff, so that was very nice of him. Nolan, Indy Next driver, oh my god, this guy, he can do like 100 push-ups. Like, I was watching him doing his warm-ups outside. He would do like 100 push-ups. 100 push-ups on one hand, 100 push-ups on the other hand. Freaking crisscross applesauce push-ups 100 times and all of this. And I told him after, I was like, oh my, like, you're insane. Like, I can't even do a single push-up. I've been doing a lot of workouts lately for a trip. And if you made it this one to the video, comment where you think that trip is going to be. But I can't do push-ups. It's a part of the workout routine. I just can't do push-ups. Not even on my knees. It's just, doesn't work. But it was so fun. I was wearing a TJ Speed jumper from one of the drivers from Caddy. Shout out to him. He's so sweet, so humble. Such a little cutie. So amazing to work with. And Nolan was like, oh, Panna, journalists aren't meant to be biased. Like, you can't wear that. And it was pretty funny. I told him like, no, it's from Caddy. Like, get me one of your merch jumpers and I'll wear that as well. James Horton. James Horton and I were kind of like friends that hate each other. I'm joking. I hate him. James and I, we had an interview that I didn't post on Instagram because I don't really want the series to see how that interview went. I can post on YouTube though. It was basically, I don't know, we're comparing Kiwi slang and I told him that selling is something that he does a lot. And if you don't know what selling is fumbling. And I just so happened to say that he was selling right after he did really badly in his session. And he was like, what? That's so rude. Like, I did so badly. I was like, oh. My god, I'm so sorry. My whole career flashed before my eyes. I just watched it. We did a lot of playful bullying, but yeah. I know also one of his two teammates were Trevor and Caddy. They're pretty small drivers. Like, they're not huge publicly known. They don't have... By the way, shout out to this jewelry. Oh my god, can we just take a minute for this jewelry, please? Thank you. But, oh, and the earrings, don't mind the headphones, I'm not even listening to music. But oh my god, his teammates are the nicest people ever. Like, I messaged them when I couldn't get to Queenstown because it was a really messy situation. If you know, you know. But I messaged them, I was like, hey, I really want to come to Queenstown, and I couldn't. I know Trevor really liked the pineapple lumps that I gave him, so I was like, I was going to bring you pineapple lumps. And I felt so bad for him as well because in the last race, it looked like it was a really rough race for him, and I was taking a big tour on him. But they're so sweet. They're honestly some of the nicest people ever. With Trevor, like they're just little cutie patooties. Like, you just want to protect them from the world. They're like these like 2 meter tall 18 to 20-year-old drivers, racing drivers, but they're just little cutie patooties. They're just little, you need to protect them. I don't want to say what I've heard about, but I know with some drivers, especially Trevor. Trevor, if this ever gets out to you, if you ever come back to New Zealand, let me and Gracie know. We will make it be a million times better. We will go bungee jumping. We will go, what else is there to do in New Zealand? You two can go on a hike. I'm not going on a hike. I'm the last person who voluntarily goes on a walk somewhere. I love walking in cities. I like cities, people, listening to music, not in nature. That, I don't know, not my vibe. But oh my god, Trevor and Kelly, they're my Shaylas. Louis Sharp, I didn't work with Louis Sharp too much, but I know that he was really sweet. There were some girls that I was with during Topor, and I know that they were talking with him a lot. To be fair, I don't really remember much, so I can't comment much. But I don't think I've heard anything bad about him. Carly Roven Parrot, the rally driver. First, I don't know how to word it in English or in Hungarian, but I think like best wishes to him with whatever he's currently going through. But I know I went up to him, I was like, hey, can we do an interview? And because I don't think he really understood English too well, he was with either a manager or a friend, and they were like interviewing and stuff, and they're like, yeah, soon. I was like, yeah, no worries. And later on in the day, he did an interview with the broadcasting team, and we were watching it, and then he comes over to me, he's like, okay, interview now. I'm like, he actually came over after saying that he would do an interview, and he came to do an interview. I know his manager or his friend, whoever was there with him, they were really nice. So we stopped in front of the showers to do an interview, and there was a big shower in the bathroom, and in the background, and they were just like, shower. Wow. Zach Skooler. This is the first ever driver that noticed my account years ago, and I know at last year's CT Fraud, I saw him and I was like, oh my god, Zach, like, I'm such a huge fan, can I take a photo with you? And then this year, when I met him, he was like, oh my god, I remember you from last year. And I was like, yeah, maybe because he don't have too many fans. I don't know. I was taking the piss. I was so nervous. But he's so sweet. I know with him, he's like, what notes did I take with him? Yeah, he remembered me before. He's so funny. He was upset that he's not my #1 favorite driver, because I messaged some drivers when I couldn't go to Queenstown. I was like, hey, like, I was really trying to get to Queenstown. Like this season, I became a lot more friends with drivers, not just as like a presenter-driver dynamic. Yeah, I know I messaged Zach about this one. He was... I probably shouldn't be saying all of that. But yeah, no, Zach was so sweet. He was upset that why he wasn't my favorite driver. He was like, well, who's your favorite? I messaged him especially after his Grand Prix win as well. And I was like, congratulations, go, amazing, love it. Yeah, he was really nice and happy to do interviews as well. Cooper Shipman. That guy right there. And that little signature right there. Yavon was meant to sign this. I don't think Cooper left much room for Yavon to sign. But yeah, Cooper sponsored me for round 2 of October. That's where I got that from. That was in my hotel room. Yeah, there was actually a second one as well, but yeah, I don't think I brought the second one home. And he's such like a funny character. He's so, I don't know if the right word for it is prodigy or whatever, but he's not like, definitely keep your eye on it, definitely go check him out. I think USF4 champion, I think like the record holder for most consecutive wins in a season. I got Cooper to write me like a reference letter for my CV. I'm getting any job booked I ever want. I'm probably telling you guys a bit too much, but I'm getting any job I ever want booked if anyone reads Cooper Shipman's reference letter that he wrote about me. I messaged about 20 people, like emailed them professionally and everything, and I messaged Cooper. I could put a screenshot somewhere. I was like, hey, would the most aura-farming CC Fraught driver like to sponsor me? He was like, I'll see what I can do. And I was in Topor 2 days later. He was so sweet. He was like, oh, like the hotel could be better and stuff. I was like, don't, I'm just happy to be in Topor. I was telling him, I was like, the bed's really comfy, but it's like the type of bed where you lie on it and it's comfy, and a few hours later you start to get cramps. And he was like, yeah, that means it's not a good bed. I was like, no, it's so nice. And my dad didn't even want to sleep in the bed, so I could sleep on it all by myself. It was like a huge bed. And he was like, your dad didn't want to sleep in the bed, Panna, that means it's not a good bed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. Your girl was just happy to sleep. The whole family's really nice as well. I filmed so much content for Cooper, and I filmed like a 10-20 minute long interview with his parents and stuff. They're all really sweet, really nice. Oh yeah, I know some fans messaged me as well that we're going to like Queenstown, some of the different rounds, and they're like, oh yeah, we want to see Cooper. So then I tell Cooper, I'm like, Cooper, you have fans, you better go and take photos with them. And sometimes the fans would just go up to him and be like, yeah, Panna said that you have to take photos with us, so now we're going to take a photo with us. He's so sweet, honestly. Cooper's such a nice person. If you guys see Cooper, go take photos with him. Ryan Woody. Brock Feeney. He's really nice. I don't remember much, and I actually, like, I knew who he was when I saw him and I went to go to an interview with him, but I kind of had to ask someone what his name was. Oh, this is so bad. The morning of, like, we went to the cafe at Hampton Downs before we went down to the race, and I was talking with a friend of mine, and he was like, oh yeah, yesterday when I came in here, like, Brock Feeney was behind me, like, driving into the track, and I was like, Brock Feeney? Who's Brock Feeney? My knowledge on most was so bad. I'm so sorry. But I'm getting into the NFL lately. Pretty cool. But so anyway, like, I searched up Brock Feeney on Instagram and stuff, and I saw him. And then with Brock, I was trying to aura farm. This is the trick I use. If there's a famous driver, I'll be like, can I give you my Instagram so I can tag you in it? And then sometimes they'll follow you so you can see it. He didn't have his phone on him. He was fresh out of a race, hence he didn't have his phone on him. But then I gave him my phone to search up. And I clicked the search where it's like Brock Feeney, Brock Feeney, Brock Feeney. It's like 5 times his name was spelt wrong. I was like, oh my god, oh, delete. Oh my god, my phone's glitching. Like, sorry, just give me a minute. And I gave it to him and I was like, oh, trying to aura farm, it was so bad. Johnny Reed. This guy right here. I apparently interviewed him at the Neodic round, which I actually don't really, my motorsport knowledge is so bad. I don't know who he was, but he drove the Black Beauty at Topor, and he's a very big motorsport figure, especially in New Zealand. And he was like, oh, you're Panna Parker. I was like, the second time that he had recognized who I was. I was like, yeah, do you know me? And he was like, yeah, you interviewed me at Neodic. And I was like, oh yeah, you, yeah, what's your name? And he was like, do you want one of these? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I gave it to Fionn McLaughlin. His sister's really nice. I know with her, like, I joked when I talked to his sister. at CT Fort, his sister, I was talking with her, like, everyone had gone by and all of the tents were down. I forgot to message my people went to pick me up, so they kind of like picked me up an hour late. But I was talking with her and she was like, oh, what tan do you use? And I was like, sorry? And she was like, what tan do you use? And I was like, oh no, this is natural. And she was like, you're naturally that tan? Baby, I was burnt in Auckland right before. That's 15 drivers for you. I think, let me know if I should do a video of like drivers I've interacted more with on social media, not just met in person. There's definitely a lot more drivers. I've done hundreds of interviews. There's definitely, I definitely just can't remember half of the drivers I've worked with. Oh my god, my brain keeps like farting out. Anyway, I think that's all of the drivers I can think of currently. They're like big names. I've done over hundreds of interviews, so there's a lot. But by the time this is posted, I'll definitely remember like 5 more drivers. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Okay,